What's up, mob? Hey, how we doing? I'm gonna do really quick sponsor reads today because I've had a couple people complaining about them, and I've been doing a lot of videos, so I'm gonna ease up on the sponsors today. But remember, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It helps build the channel and helps me fight the establishment. So you guys know the sponsors: Coach Rob Store, get your supplements; Epic Garage Designs, Ride Strapped, and Precision Transport. Please support them, and let's get into this thing.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So this 250 class this year is wide open. And I say it's wide open because we've had two mud races back to back. And you've got two veterans at the top that are kind of known for being inconsistent. And then you've got, Levi Kitchen. He's still a question mark. While he's looked good on that Pro Circuit Kawasaki, it's still kind of a question mark, and he hasn't shown consistency. Joe Schmoda's a long ways out, and so is Nate Thrasher, but they're only 6 points apart from themselves. If either one of those guys gets on a roll, I forgot that there's still 7 rounds of this left if you count the Triple Crown here at Anaheim. And then you also have a round in Denver, a round in Seattle with the 2 East-West. So anything can happen. There can be huge point swings. So this thing's a long ways from over. But Joe Schmoda has got to start getting some points. That was nice to salvage 4th place because it looked like it was going to be game over. If he gets 0 points in San Diego or 3 points or outside the top 10, I would say stick a fork in him. Championship-wise, he's done. But while it's still kind of, he's definitely put himself in a big hole. With the way this class is, with the East-West shootouts, there's a lot. And let's not forget, we got Danger Boy in those East-West shootouts. There's a lot of guys that can get in there and take points. And looks like Hayden Deegan has been riding, but if you'll notice the clips that I've seen, he's riding by himself, which means, yes, he's doing better, he's feeling better, but he's still not doing the motos, how they do, because Star runs it like a combine. They just drop the gate, practice, hammer each other. Doesn't look like he's comfortable enough to quite do that, but the fact that he's going to line up in Detroit is such good news, guys. That is awesome. And then the other news that I had was on Michael Mosiman. Apparently, the info I had was incorrect. He is not obviously lining up San Diego. He will not even be racing Supercross. Whatever injuries he's dealing with, he won't even be ready till probably outdoors is what I'm hearing. But my source on that did not know, and when they were doing up the stuff and getting it ready, I believe there was some sort of miscommunication with Mosiman and the team, or somewhere there was a breakdown, and I don't know that when they signed him, I don't think they realized how injured he actually was. So that'll be something to watch, but I just want Mosiman back, and I want him back healthy, so however that happens, good on him. Jordan Smith, this looks like finally his season. This is a guy who had this title at one point, or an East title, until he had that horrible endo coming into the stadium at Las Vegas. And then he's had some others where he's kind of tasted it. And then he went back to a Phoenix Honda team, which Phoenix Honda is a great team, but they're not a factory star Yamaha team. They're not on the same level. He fought his way back. And now last year he had some podiums, some heat wins. Now he's got a win and he's right there in the points. So this is his championship to lose. But would it be the worst thing if he actually gets second? Probably not. If he wins this title, he gets 1 year to defend it, and then what? Because his results on a 450 have not been good. And with what Christian Craig and some of these older guys that have come out of the 250 class, how they've kind of floundered in the 450 class, is it the kiss of death for his career if he wins this? I don't know, but it's a weird argument because if he stays competitive, right, and just misses out on it this year, then he's got next year, and if he wins some races next year, he can be like I don't see why he's going to make more money staying in the 250 class than if he wins it. Although you make a lot of money for winning. It's a toss-up, but I don't see these 450 teams clamoring to sign any more 30-year-old 450 rookies. I think these guys are going to have a hard time based on the performances of, Osborne. Osborne did okay in the outdoors, but he did not. Supercross didn't go well. He had 1 win, but it was at the end of the year. It wasn't, horrible, but it wasn't what, they had kind of hoped. They really thought he would be better than that. And Craig has been, I feel bad. It's been a disaster so far. So if you look at these guys that are older moving up, teams really take a look at that and they go, oh, do I want to waste my time? Do I want to do that? Or do I want to try on someone else? One thing that I would do if I was Jordan Smith If I'm Jordan Smith, when this series goes east, I would be begging them to ride a 450. He needs to prove he can ride a 450. If he goes out there on a star 450 and runs top 5, wins a heat like what RJ did, then maybe somebody will take a shot. But that's what he needs to do. And you know, it kind of sucks, and you don't want to risk injury, and he wants his title so bad. But after that, what do? I'm sure he's just worried about the title, but me looking big picture, he might win himself right into unemployment. So Jordan, if you can, get on the 450. I think it will only help him in the 250 West if he can get out there, and let's find out if he can really ride a 450, because when he rode, I believe it was Paris and some of the other times I've seen him on a 450, it's not been good. So if he can go out there, unless he can go out there and prove he's a commodity, it could be the kiss of death if he wins this title. 3 guys that don't have that same worry if they win the title are Joe, Marchbanks, and Thrasher. 3 somewhat young guys that Marchbanks has proven he can ride a 450. He probably should be on a 450, but he's proven me wrong. Like, if he keeps podiuming every week and keeping this many points, well, yeah, he probably should be in the 250 class, and he hasn't proven it yet on a dry track, but I don't see any reason why he can't. That confidence you gain, confidence is like that's the most important thing in racing, is confidence and that belief that you can. 2 weeks in a row, even though it's muddy, you still feel that way. So Marchbanks, he's still extremely talented. When this kid came up from the amateurs, he was amazing. He was a phenom, and I really did expect him to be better. But he's been good, but it's been injuries and things after another. But this could be the year, and if he wins, he will 100%. In fact, whether he wins or not, he should have a few 450 offers for next year, just by how good he looks on the 250 and the fact that you know he can ride that 450. Joe, of course, if he wins, he's going to be, he's on the same path as the Lawrence brothers, and of course there will be an opportunity for him in the 450 class if he can get it done. He's the best rider in the history to ever come over here from Japan, and he carries a whole nation on his back. Of course, he's going to get a 450 opportunity. And Thrasher's still really young. If he wins a title, somebody will take a chance on him as well. Once again, kind of like Thrasher, I'd still like to see Thrasher ride a 450 at some point before he makes that jump, but he's not as big of a risk as, say, like a Jordan Smith. You know, guys, they understand he's still younger. He can still develop. He's still got a lot of that in him. Plus, he's just got the dog, man. He is one tough MFer. Also, if RJ ends up winning this thing, you know, he's got another year, and I wish he would get on a 450. If you guys remember, he won a heat at Daytona. So if RJ wins, he'll definitely get an opportunity. I believe he'll probably just step right into Christian Craig's spot, probably next year if he wins it this year, but we shall see. The problem with this 250 class and the rules is it really doesn't work with the current system they have. So this 250 class is designed to develop young talent for the Premier 450 class. The problem with this is your money doesn't come from the series. Your money in racing comes from the factories. And the factories sell just as many 250s as they do 450s. And your TV time and your exposure, that you get almost the same amount in the 250 as you do the 450. Actually, might even get more in some instances. But that's why these factories have to put a lot of development into that 250 class. I have a solution for this. We make the 250 class premier, just like World Supercross. You got 250 and 450. And yeah, everyone looks at the 450 as a premier, but 250 is also a premier. Then Triumph can let Joey Savacci run the whole series. You can let all these different guys run the whole series. What do you do with developmental talent? Let's take the futures. Let's leave them as a developmental series, but you have East and West. Keep the same program, but just let them know this is developmental. You are not going to get the same TV time. You are not going to get the same things that the 250 and 450 premier riders get. You are going to be a developmental league. If it rains and the schedule changes and they're short on time, you guys will miss your race because you're a developmental series, and treat them like a true developmental series. That way, you know, we have something to kind of groom these guys, but then also have a spot for, you know, 250 guys and 450 guys. So that's what I think, because right now Craig is on poor Christian Craig I feel bad for him. But to give you an idea of how bad the Husqvarna 450 team has been this year, Malcolm and Christian combined between 3 races have less points than Hunter Lawrence, who's not really had a great start to his year. He didn't even qualify at Anaheim, yet after 3 rounds, he has more points than the entire Rockstar Husqvarna team. Seriously, that's how bad they've been. But Christian Craig, right now, I don't see any way he gets signed next year unless he goes out and wins a race or gets on the podium or I just don't see it. And he would have a chance if there was, say, if he could go back to a 250, if that class was wide open. I just think that they should be able to do that in the 250 and 450 class. No, you can't go back to futures, or you can't go back that far, but you should be able to choose 250 or 450, and they both should be premier classes. If you're going to keep money, you're not pay these riders like you should, and they have to get their money from the factories, let's give these 2 premier series. That's what, and whether they're asking for it or not, like budget-wise, that would help. As bad as the year has been for Malcolm Stewart, he's still shown flashes. He's Malcolm Stewart. He's got a huge, he's very popular. He's a Stewart. So he's going to get a longer leash than Christian Craig, but he's still got to show something. He got second in that heat. He looked really good. Unfortunately, that accident that happened in the 450 main with him and Sexton coming together, I believe that was Sexton's fault. But when you don't get the whole shot, things like that happen. So, but he still has shown. And I feel like there's more on the table. And I think at this Triple Crown next week, and you're going to see some stuff from Malcolm where he's going to have some really good finishes throughout the end of Supercross to get him another contract. Because I have to think Husqvarna is probably just frustrated to the point where they just want to wash their hands of the 450 team and start over. But Malcolm could do well enough to get himself an opportunity there or another opportunity if he just has some good finishes, and he can easily get up there and get a podium. He's had a podium before in the 450 class. I want to give a shout out to a couple journeymen. Alex Nagy. Yes, that Alex Nagy. Go check out his Instagram. Alex is he's just like the salt of the sport. Been doing this forever. Made the main event in San Diego. Alexander Nagy, he's one of the good people in this sport. And if you get a chance at the pit party, go down and talk to Alex. Usually he's traveling in a van with him and his girlfriend, or maybe you'll see his dad. But this guy's been at it for a long time. He's been known to sleep at the track the night before to save money on a hotel. He's been doing this forever, but I was super excited to see Alexander Nagy get into that main event. And then my buddy Josh Greco, who's dealing with the hiatus hernia. He had a spot. He had the final transfer spot to the main event in the LCQ until the last lap. I talked to him and he was just like, dude, thanks to this hernia, I've got no cardio. And I don't know exactly what the hernia is doing or if it keeps him from training or what it does, but he was exhausted and he faded that last lap, but he still ended up 5th, missed the main by 1 spot. But yeah, Josh Greco, Alexander Nagy, props to you guys. You guys are the salt of the sport. And if you want to meet 2 nice guys in the pits, go down and check out either one of those guys. There's those giant lines at, the Jet Lawrence Experience, Roxon. If you want to get some quality time with somebody who will actually listen to you and talk to you, go meet Josh Greco or Alexander Nagy. There's some good dudes. If you need a real estate agent anywhere in the world, hit me up. Hit me up at chriscookseymedia@gmail.com. I will get you an agent in your area that knows your market. I will help them with my platform. And if you're in the Las Vegas area, hit me up and I will be your agent and I will sell your house, or I will find you a house or a rental, whatever you need. So thanks guys. I appreciate everything and you have a wonderful day.